Hey everyone, Tigertenaka here, and this video is going to be a little different. I plan on doing this after every game I LP. This is going to be a review of Pokemon Heart Gold. And like I just said, I plan on doing a review for every game I Let's Play, so let's get started. Let's get started. This is already a great start. This is going to be the first time I do a review, so might have some flaws, might miss out on a few categories. So, I'll try my best here. Let's start off on graphics. Graphics in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, amazing for Nintendo DS standards. I love the graphics in this game. Uh, it's definitely an improvement from Diamond Pearl and even Platinum. Like, all the animations you see in the overworld and all the models and everything, they just look smoother and better in general. And there are also a lot of good camera angles that the game has, like, for example, the Olivine Lighthouse. When you have to jump out the window to proceed any further, you have, like, I don't know what kind of perspective it is. It's like a full head-on perspective. The camera is on you directly, like a full frontal view, instead of an angled upward view like you usually do. I don't know what kind of a camera angle you would call that, so I'm just gonna describe it like that. As far as cutscenes go, the cutscenes where Ho-Oh and Lugia appear, amazing. Like, I think they really pushed the DS's limitations when they did stuff like this, and they did a really good job of doing that. And Ho-Oh and Lugia's entrances in general were just plain epic. Ho-Oh appears out of the sky with an orb of light after the Komodo girls do their dance, and then Lugia creates a shockwave with its wings when it emerges from the waterfall. It's just badass. There are also some small touches that the game put in there to make it feel more natural and a pleasant feel. Like the spinning sign right in front of all the Pokemarts. That just looks cool, and it shows that this game isn't 2D like pretty much everything up until 4th gen was. It's saying, hey, we did all this work on, even on the small touches, and we'd appreciate it if you took notice of stuff like that, and I like little things like that. Overall, though, the graphics are really good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, so overall, I'd give the graphics an 8 out of 10 for this game. Because, like, I guess the graphics aren't great, but they're pretty good, especially for a Pokemon game. So, anyway, on to the next category, story. The story for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I'm going to be a little lenient on it, since it's a remake of the original Gold and Silver, so it can't have that many original stuff, but it takes place 3 years after Fire Red and Leaf Green, or Red and Blue, if you're playing the original Gold and Silver. And that basically makes it so that this is the only Pokemon game that is a direct sequel to another Pokemon game, at least as far as the main games go. Not counting spin-offs like Coliseum and XD. It also has, like, even though the story is based off of the original Gold and Silver, it does add a little more backstory to some of the characters. Like, the Celebi event, for instance. We find out for sure that Giovanni is Silver's father, and we figure out why Silver has always hated Team Rocket so much. But, yeah, the story is basically the same other than that. It's like Team Rocket's looking for Giovanni to come back, so they basically have a new leader, a second in command, I guess, first in command if Giovanni isn't around. And he basically controls what Team Rocket does, taking over the radio tower, forcing Pokemon evolution, all that stuff. And when they take over the radio tower, they try to contact Giovanni, to no avail, as explained in the Celebi event. and basically you take them down, and Team Rocket finally just says, you know what, we really, really tried, we were so close to doing it, but this is gonna keep happening, so just screw it. That's basically what happens in every evil team in the Pokemon series, but hey, it's a it's a classic thing, and they can't really get rid of it. I'm looking at a list here, because there's no way I'd be able to do all this on the fly. Oh yeah, back to the Celebi event thing. There's one little thing that bugs me, and it's the whole time paradox thing. And Lyra kind of points it out. You're supposed to be taking on Archie the exact same time you're supposed to be taking on Giovanni when you're in the Celebi event. Which, yeah, time paradox. I really don't like those. It's one of my pet peeves in a plot. It's like, time paradox, fix it! I also find it annoying, this kind of goes into gameplay more than story, but they really made Giovanni weak. Like, the real event Celebi that you get in the real game instead of the one I used, I believe is level 70 when you get it. And they made Giovanni's strongest Pokemon be like level 50. So they really made him underpowered in that aspect. I mean, I get that they made it so that you could do it right after you beat Johto in the Pokemon League, but still, it's like, just hold off on it a little more and don't make Celebi so overpowered compared to him. Like, have it be somewhat of a challenge. But anyway, that's getting more into gameplay, and that's actually the next category. Very nice. Story, though, I will give it a 7 out of 10, because, like I said, it's a remake, so story isn't that original, but I won't deny it's a good story. It's a good story. But for the sake of review, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, so trying to be unbiased about this, so. Anyway, next category, gameplay. It's the classic turn-based RPG Pokemon formula. Never changes. Whether that's for the better or for the worse, that's up to you. I like the classic formula, though. That's what the spin-offs are for. It's like, spin-offs are for changing the formula. Anyway, this is about the main games, not spin-offs. Levels. Levels are a huge problem in this game. They make you so weak in Johto, it's ridiculous. Like, the best grinding spot before the Victory Road and Pokemon League and everything has like level 20 Pokemon. It's just stupid. I kind of see why they did that, because all those Pokemon give out good experience and they wouldn't want you to get over-leveled for the Pokemon League, but I'd rather be over-leveled than under-leveled, and if I know a Pokemon League's levels ahead of time, I try not to be too over-leveled so I can still challenge myself a little bit. I know that's not how everyone would do it, but that's how I would do it. But yeah, I hate to say this, but it's true. Gold and Silver and Heart Gold and Soul Silver literally have the worst grinding spots in RPG history. That's saying something. I hate to say that about a game I like so much, but that is really bad to have a game that has the worst grinding spots ever. It's like, yeah, level 20 Geodude that gives off 200 experience every time I kill it, when I'm facing level 40 Pokemon at the weakest. And it's like such a huge level jump from the strongest trainer before Victory Road and then the first Elite Four member. That's like a difference of 10 levels right there. And then the jump between the last Elite Four member and the champion, that's another 10 levels. It's like you're being a little harsh, don't you think? You're making the player already weak, and then you're making the champion unbelievably strong. It's like, what the hell are you thinking? And, yeah, like, I like difficulty in a game, but not artificial difficulty. Having really bad grinding spots forcing you to be a low level while the enemies are all high leveled, that's artificial difficulty. Real difficulty is a game where no matter how much you train up until a certain point, a Pokemon, or just an enemy in general in games, is still hard no matter what. So, it makes the game more difficult, but not in a way I would like it to be difficult. Now, after Johto, though, that's where it perks up a little bit, because you can play 2 regions, like in the original, but still 2 regions. It's the only Pokemon game that's ever done that, which I love a lot. And yeah, it's just really cool to go back and go through a region for nostalgic purposes and just to see what's changed. It's really cool. I wish they would do that more often, but I can kind of understand why. If you look at the Poke Earth, which, if you look at the Poke Earth, you can see why you don't go to multiple regions all that often. Kanto and Johto are literally right next to each other. All the other regions are like on opposite ends of the planet. It's like Hoenn is down south, Sinnoh is north, Kanto and Johto are smack dab in the middle, and Unova is like on the other side of the planet. Like, keep in mind that all the Pokemon regions except for Unova are based on real areas in Japan. So it's like Kanto and Johto are in the middle, Sinnoh is north, Hoenn is south. Unova is in New York City. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, gameplay, overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's really nostalgic, it's really cool. It's just the artificial difficulty that bugs me. Anyways, next category, mechanics. First one, auto running shoes. Why didn't you keep this in black and white? It makes things so much easier. You don't have to hold down the B button in this game. You can just hold the control pad in a certain direction and you're running. You don't have to hold down the B button. It's really good. I love that. Another thing I love is being able to assign multiple key items to touching the screen. I love that too, because it's always annoying. It's like, I use this item a lot, but I use this item a lot too. Well, now you can have 2 key items assigned. So you can just have, like, a bicycle and whatever else you want on there, or something else, like the dowsing machine. I love the dowsing machine, too. It's more like a radar than, oh, there's a hidden item around here, so I'm gonna point you in the general direction where it is. It's like, gee, thanks a lot. The Pokegear. I like how you can rematch trainers, but it's annoying that you have to wait for them to call you. And I also, like, this is kind of a dual-edged sword. It's like, you're not required to pick up the Pokegear anymore like you were in the original games. So you can just let it ring and ring and ring, but the ringtone is so annoying. Like, the only way to get rid of that ringtone is to either enter a building or to pick it up. It's like not even saving it or going, like, you can go into a menu and stop it temporarily, but the second you exit that menu, it's gonna ring again. So that can get pretty annoying too. And another mechanic I really don't like is the savings you can have for your mom. It's an interesting idea, it's just never implemented well. She always buys you useless crap that you're never going to use, and it's your money that she's wasting. Like, the whole time, like, I got Heart Gold a month after it came out. My mom in the game has only bought me 1 useful item in that whole 2-year time period. A choice scarf. Which was really good, I'll mind you, but everything else she's ever bought me was like a potion, super potions, and random berries that I never use. It's like, have better items for me to buy, or just get better items, seriously. They really needed to fix that, and unfortunately they didn't do a good job at doing so. Next mechanic, berry planning. I love how you can bring your berries with you now. That's so much more convenient than having to go to the same spot, over and over again, having to water it and wait for all that stuff. Now you can just bring the berries with you. So much more convenient. Gym leader rematches kind of goes into regular trainer matches. You have to wait for a certain day at a certain time just to get the phone numbers, and then you have to do it again just to rematch them. But it definitely provides more training for like red and stuff like that, or rematching the Elite Four. So it definitely helps a lot when otherwise you would have to train up against level 30 Pokemon, level 30 wild Pokemon. Uh, Apricorns, they're pretty much unchanged from Crystal. You can, like in the original Gold and Silver, you would have to have each individual Apricorn done one per day. But now, ever since Crystal, you've been able to do as many Apricorns as you want of one kind. So say now you can get 10 green Apricorns done in one day instead of in Gold and Silver, or if you wanted 10 green Apricorns done, you would have to wait 10 days to do it. So I'm glad they changed that. Overall, I'd say the game mechanics get an 8 out of 10 as well. Overall, pretty good. Few changes would be nice, but I won't complain about it too much. Music. Music is going to please everyone. The songs, oh man, they're just awesome remixes. Even if you haven't played the original games to feel the nostalgia, you've got to admit the music is so badass. The battle musics are awesome. Like, I always get pumped up when a battle starts. It's really a shame that I can't hear the game audio on the LP, otherwise it would almost be like stereo to you guys, because you would hear it from the Camtasia recording, then my microphone recording if it was too loud. So unfortunately I'm not able to hear it that much. Oh, and if you really love the way the songs were before and you hate the remixes, they fixed that too because they give you the GB sounds. Which, granted, they give you that at the very end of the game and you miss out on a few songs, but the GB sounds lets you hear all the songs as they sounded like on the original Game Boy Color. So there's even more nostalgia in that. Overall, I'll give the music a 10 out of 10. I can't say anything bad about the music. It's just fantastic. Extras. Next category. The Pokeathlon. The Pokeathlon is completely pointless other than playing mini-games. You really don't get much out of it, and the few items you do get out of it, you can most likely get somewhere else. It's really annoying to have to play them to get certain items. You get points for it to buy those items, but like I said, most of them you can get elsewhere. Like a lot of them you can get more apricorns, but again, just grow some, really, it's not that hard. Like, just wait a day for the apricorns to grow back. I almost find it a complete waste of time. I did the Pokeathlon myself. I've beaten pretty much every level of it. It's just really annoying to go through. It's pretty much like the contests in 3rd and 4th gen. Like, in the Hoenn and Sinnoh regions, they're just completely pointless. Cameos, this kind of goes into extras. I liked how they put in a few gym leaders from Sinnoh in there, like Maylene and Crasher Wake. It didn't really contribute to a whole lot, but I still like the cameos. Cynthia in one of the events, I liked that. That's pretty much all the cameos I can think of. The events, I loved the events. The Celebi event, the Arceus event, the Pichu event, pretty much all of them I loved. Like, you didn't actually interact with them, but they looked so cool or cute or whatever. Like, the Arceus event, you got to see how a Pokemon egg was made by Arceus himself. That's definitely not something you see every day. And it was just really cool, but random at the same time to see real-life pictures in a Pokemon game. Like traffic jams, natural disasters, all that stuff. That was awesome, but weird. Oh, and The main extra in this game is the Pokewalker. It's an interesting idea. You send your Pokemon from the game to the Pokewalker, and every step you take, it gains 1 experience point, and there's a limit of 1 level every time you send it to the Pokewalker. There are actually some events with the Pokewalker too. You could find wild Pokemon there, and depending on how far you're into the game or how many steps you've taken on the Pokewalker, you can explore new areas, find new Pokemon. And there are a few events like the Yellow Forest event. You can find, like, you would always find Pikachu there, but you had like a 5 or 1% chance to find a surfing Pikachu or a flying Pikachu. That was awesome. And the last extra, Pokemon following you. It was a very nice touch graphically. It's just cool to see your favorite Pokemon following you no matter where you go. I just wish that whenever you talk to them, they would have like they could give you better items than just accessories. I always found that kind of annoying. It's like such a good system, but they never give me anything useful. Yeah, it's cool to see, like, you can see the nature in your Pokemon show, where before it was just like, oh, it has this or that nature. Okay. You can actually see the Pokemon's nature show. Overall, I'd give the extras a 10 out of 10. It's like, other than the Pokeathlon, I loved it all. And the conclusion to Pokemon Heart Gold. Very good game. Takes everything the original was, makes it even better. And especially if you haven't played the originals at all, this is a very solid game. Highly recommend it to anyone despite its very small shortcomings. I'd give this game an 8.5 out of 10. So it's been Tigertenaka, and I'll see you guys later.